I think people coming on our workshops have been taking away a different way of looking at their woods, of having the confidence to just explore and to tell the stories of the trees and the stories of the animals around them, and having the confidence. More than anything, it's about confidence in themselves as creative people, to be able to enjoy their woods, to walk in them, but also to sit down and draw in them, to make up stories about them, to build their own books, to really use those woods as an emotional and physical resource.
What was it like?
Autumn.
It was awesome. It was really cool, wasn't it, watching? So you came up...
I said autumn.
Autumn? What's autumn? We're in autumn at the minute. But what was it like creating our story? Because we helped create the story, didn't we?
You know, just being out here under a canopy of trees with the birds, that fresh air. I think the whole combo is just brilliant for well-being.
Since here, just being able to go into the woods and the countryside whenever I want is completely changed my way of life. I've got a far more balanced outlook on a lot of things. I'm enjoying a far healthier lifestyle. Being able to go into the woods is just beautiful as a way to switch off mentally apart from anything. I mean, that was why it was quite good when I got involved with the Stronger Roots project doing the yoga classes. So apart from obviously doing something that I'd just never done before, being yoga, being able to do that in an environment, actually immerse yourself fully in the woods, in the trees, in nature, it's just something that really was calming and I found to be very helpful for my daily life and get a bit of a work-life balance going on as well.
I mean, for me, the woods around Buxton are really important. Buxton is my home, and the woods are a refuge. They're a sanctuary, an inspiration. They're a place to go to, just to walk and sit and think. And for me, as an artist, to draw and to write and to get ideas and then to share those with other people. Sharing the woods with people is a delight, and it's an inspiration in itself. And it's a joy. It's a joy just to see people enjoying their woodlands.
They're nice squish roads.
I think it's good that at least a bit of wildlife is still around, and it is good because not many people really respect it except for everybody here, and cities are being built on this area. That's kind of sad, so I'm glad that there are places like this that can stay here forever.
Oh, it was wonderful. We loved looking at the autumn colours and the leaves. It was a nice warm day, really, very mild for autumn. But it was much more interesting having things pointed out to us through the story. Following the storyline made us think about how it's really important that the seasons stay even and regular for everybody, so that the world can carry on the way it is and all the animals can thrive. So thank you for that lesson.
It's given me a real appreciation for having these things right on your doorstep, and the fact that it's things you take for granted, that there are these open spaces that you can go and escape away from, even just quiet roads, for example. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's just a bit of an escape, really. You don't have to go miles away to feel like you're miles away.
It's silent.
I had some depression issues over the last year, and I was recommended to come here by her. I found the sessions to be fantastic. It's been an amazing experience over the last 6 weeks. Met some really lovely people, made some friends, and just being outdoors in nature has really helped my mental health. I feel a lot more positive and a lot more able to cope with everyday life now.
I think over these last 2 years, the woods have been incredibly important. That sense of somewhere to escape to has been a lifeline for people, has really given them somewhere to go, somewhere that is bigger than they are, that is wild and beautiful and free, and that sense of freedom runs through everything. And strengthens people, gives them something to rely on, to depend upon. And yeah, it comes back to freedom, and that sense of freedom to take home, and that keeps them strong through these last 2 years.
They're very pretty. From an artist's perspective, I think we really need to get together at some point, and we need to do some drawing or something of the woods at this time.
I think of people's experience in the forest as a story, and the first footsteps in that story are usually fairly tentative, as if you're kind of learning to walk again across a new terrain, and you start off with a little bit of hesitancy, and who are these strange women and men in this forest with tools and equipment, and what are we here to do? And over time that changes, and over time those footsteps become a little bit more confident and build into strides and climbing, and much more self-directed, wanting to find their way through the forest. So you've got that innate or a more intrinsic motivation, I guess.
I like that some are spirally and some have big hollow holes.
I think just being out in nature, regardless of the weather, we've come out in all weathers, which has always been interesting and part of the challenge, but also forcing us to step out of our comfort zones and to try different things that maybe we would normally shy away from trying. So for me, being in nature, being in the woods, it's very peaceful. I find it very calming. I find learning about the trees, learning about the topography of the land, learning about the people that used to live in these woods, finding that connection to nature. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, being able to come out and be a part of the landscape really helps to soothe my soul. So that's why I've really enjoyed it.
I just find that being out in a woodland or out in the countryside, you instantly just start to relax. If there's any stresses, just going out for a bit of a walk in the woods, taking in what you can see around you, see, hear, smell, it just instantly makes you more relaxed, no matter what the weather is. And we've had sessions where the weather has been good, the weather has been poor, but undoubtedly everybody has come away from it with a smile on the face, having really enjoyed themselves.
Mushrooms. I love the mushrooms. The mushrooms look really cool, don't they? Yeah. I really enjoyed the story with the goblin or the troll, where he gets rid of autumn. I really enjoyed that story. Turned into a pile of leaves.
Yeah, because I enjoyed this story because it had the really cool owls in.
The really cool owl. The puppets are really cool, weren't they? Owls and the bats and the ladybird. They were very cool.
Mum, do we get to keep these or do we have
to give them back?
To me, it's life. This is life. This is everything that life needs to be and has. And you know, on a day like today, where everything's covered, I'm looking up, everything's covered in snow, and it's silent, and it's it's quite a profound reminder, really, that we need to rest, we need to stop, we need to slow down, and sometimes we just need to take care of, you know, ourselves. But here I am, and I've been working, but that kind of, I feel part of this, I do, because I see it every day, and I walk the paths every day, and I notice where moss is starting to shine, or lichen has dropped on the floor, and I see that as a tiny gift, as a tiny sort of offering almost. And when I pick it up and I touch it and I look at the sheer beauty, I don't think, you know, you have to look really hard in other areas of life to find that, to find that beauty and that simplicity. Yeah.
The woods was just somewhere that I went to walk just to stretch my legs at lunchtime, it wasn't that I was particularly going there to escape from anything, it was just what was close by. But the more time I spent there, I found myself keep coming back just because of the beautiful space. And the thing I think that's so nice about it is the fact that throughout the seasons it's forever changing, so no two visits are ever the same. You can go in spring, everything's coming out and the birds are just beginning to get, make a lot more noise, and it's beautiful in one way, and then through to this time of year, just as all the trees have changed from autumn through to winter, it's just a really beautiful space that there's just always something to go there for. And so it became something, rather than going just because it's close by to walk, it became a destination in itself. And I would be like, oh, I actually want to go and spend time in the woods, not just I'm spending it there just because.
Ladybirds, squirrels.
He likes to climb in the hollows too, don't you?
Ants. I'll take this. Everyone, come to this place. It is dope.
Yeah, well, I'm an advocate for yoga, but I've seen that it just takes it to another level doing it in this space. And I think it's lovely to see my own students, but it's great to have people who maybe wouldn't have come to a yoga class, just turn up at this, in this place and just see for themselves how it is, how it feels. And, I can certainly think of a couple of people who've, asked me about, how do I take this forward? And, one person, just fantastic feedback saying, I'm still coming to the woods by myself and doing yoga just after that one session. That, you couldn't wish for better feedback than that, really.
It just overall felt really, really good. Really good.
I think it's because it's quiet for me.
I think it's because there's not many people intervening.
Trying different techniques when if I start to feel overwhelmed. So even just going outside into my garden and spending 5 or 10 minutes outside, doing some deep breathing, meditating, hugging a few trees, because you get that lovely energy from the trees when you're in close contact with them. So yeah, I've absolutely loved the last 6 weeks. I think it's one of the best things I've done for my mental health, and I will be encouraging other people to try it as well, and also encouraging my son to embrace nature and to get out and really be a part of this beautiful surroundings.
I never considered that my mental health wasn't at a good place until I started spending more time in the outdoors in spaces like the woods. It was only when I began to engage in that space more, take a breath for a minute and actually stop and look at my life, that I realised that there's things that can change and things that you can do in your life to improve your own mental health. I didn't think my mental health was in a bad way, but being in the woods and engaging in that space and using it as a place to relax has improved my mental health, which I didn't realise it needed to be improved. So, that's the biggest thing I've had from that. It's, you don't realise that you might not be in the best mental health until you stop and think about it. And having a space that you can stop and reflect in is something that it can open up your mind a little bit and really think about yourself in that respect.
There is a young boy that we've been working with, and he has started to play with other children for the first time. And there was a point where that young boy's mother spoke to me about that, and she cried because she doesn't see that happen, hadn't seen that happen. And that was the thing that she took away, to tell her partner at home that he played. Yeah, that's pretty special, I think. Yeah.
It's definitely been benefiting everybody who's taken part, for the health benefits of being outside, being in a woodland. walking up a hill to actually get to where we're going to go and do something, just that little bit more physical exercise, getting out, doing things as opposed to vegging in at home, looking at your phone. You know, get out into real life as opposed to virtual reality. Try reality.
Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's a beautiful interview.
Leave.
Thank you very, very much. And I will end it